week's question. What would you do if you were in your workplace and you were witnessing two colleagues verbally attacking each other? Would you A, let them get it out and over and done with, B, leave the room, or C, manage the situation so it doesn't get out of control? Well, hopefully you feel confident enough to answer C, manage the situation before it gets out of control. So, how do you manage a situation when two of your colleagues are in conflict? Well, let's use first aid for conflict. We're all familiar with the term of first aid and its purpose when we are attending to people with a physical injury. So too can we apply those same first aid principles to managing workplace conflict. And here's how. To manage conflict in the workplace, we can use the acronym FIRST to help us identify what we need to be doing. So F in FIRST stands for focusing on the facts. When you have two people in conflict, it's important that they stay focused on the issues at hand and don't start attacking each other. So the first thing you can do when you're on the scene of managing this conflict is refocus the conversation so the people are now focused on the facts of the issues. I stands for identifying the issues. When you are trying to understand what the issues are, it's important that you use your active listening skills, that you use a variety of open and closed questions, and you are also paraphrasing. R is for reframing. Reframing encourages the person speaking to change the focus of their conversation. So for example, if they're speaking in a negative tone about negative things, moving them to a positive frame to help the conversation move forward and be more constructive. S stands for summarising. And we've been summarising since primary school. And that's because it is so valuable in so many different places. Summarising helps to gain an understanding from your perspective that everything that needs to be said has been said. And it also gives an opportunity to those in conflict to hear again what they've said and what the other person said. Now, sometimes in conflict, people are caught up in their own thoughts that they're not listening to what the other person's saying. If you take the opportunity to summarise everything you've heard from both people, then it's an opportunity for them to hear something, and it could be for the first time. So then it's time that you can move them on to the next step, and that is to turn their thinking. That's right, we're going to turn their thinking to what's been going on in the past, to how can they come up with some solution to the problems that they've identified. This is where people are able to start problem solving the issues and looking for some solutions. When we apply first aid to a physical injury, we do so with the intent of minimising the impact that the injury will have. However, there may still be a need for some specialist intervention later, maybe going to a doctor or to a surgeon. And so it is with first aid for conflict. When you observe workplace conflict, it's important to apply first aid for conflict as soon as possible to minimise the chance of the conflict escalating. It's important to consider that there may still be a need for specialist intervention, and how you can identify that is gaining an understanding as to whether the people who are involved in that conflict now can identify and stay focused on their facts, can identify issues, know how to reframe, can summarise, and then turn their thinking from the past to a solution-focused future. If your colleagues need specialist intervention around managing themselves and others, you're welcome to contact me. As a conflict manager, I specialise in helping employers manage workplace conflict well. Thanks very much for listening. I'm Andrea Doyle, workplace mediator and conflict manager. I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Bye for now.